Hey there guys, how's it going? We're here back with another painting video, and we're doing another Zombicide hero character. This is Asim from the core set, and he's got that very sort of like Arabic Middle Eastern look to him, and for some reason I'm just into painting that at the moment because I did the Zadim, I believe it was, for Reaper Bones. Same sort of character, but I like Asim a little bit better. He's more detailed. And we're already halfway through the first colour, so let's get started. We primed it in our normal grey primer, and we're just doing Hydra Turquoise for the some of his robes, because they sort of like greeny turquoisey colour in the artwork, but I don't have a colour like that. So we're going to go with Hydra Turquoise, and then when you give it a green wash, it goes to more of a greeny colour. And that was it for the Hydra Turquoise. Then we move on to Desert Yellow, and this is for more of the sort of padded parts of his leather armor that he's got. It looks like he's wearing mostly just like cloth and robes, but there is a small areas of padded on his shoulders, and he has a single one on his leg. In the artwork there's two, in the model there's only one. So once I do this, you just see me sort of stop for a moment and just look to try and work out where it is. It's just not there on the model though. Like, it should be right where I'm trying to do now. And then I realised it's not there and just move on to doing the actual boots with this colour. There we go, that will be it for Desert Yellow. Now we're on to Uniform Grey, and this is primarily just for the top, as like his top layer in the artwork is a sort of blackish grey colour, so we're going to go with that. But then he's got another piece that you can see just between his legs that's a very dark black, and I can't see that anywhere else on the model apart from that one place. So you could do that colour in Uniform Grey as well, but I do change the colour up a little bit just to make it look a little bit more similar to the artwork. It's done. We move on to Pure Red, and that is just for this sort of like random piece of fabric that he's got hanging down. That is the only thing I can see on this model that is red, unless it goes around the back somewhere, which you can't see on the model, but that's it seems. And you just pop it in pure red and it adds a little bit of variation, which is nice. But once that's done, you move on to Dark Splatter, and this is for all these sort of leather belts and straps and things he's got. And that'll be it for all of the straps. Now we're on to Necromancer's Cloak, which didn't actually record, so I'm just quickly showing you where I paint this. But it's essentially all of the weapon sheaths that he still has on the model, and that part in between his legs I do in this as well, as it should be a darker colour. And as you can see, I did actually miss a few bits, so I do actually come back and paint some more afterwards. But there we go, that's it for the Necromancer's Cloak. Now we're on to Kobold Skin, and that is just for his skin tone. So I want to give him that sort of Middle Eastern skin tone instead of just white, which is essentially what all of the models I've done so far are. So this guy's going to have a nice tanned skin color instead of tanned flesh, which is more pinky. And that was it for all of the skin. Now we're moving on to plate mail metal, and that's for all of the metallics on this model, which is actually just both swords plus I do the handle of the sword that's in his sheath still. I'm not sure where he keeps the sheath for the one in his hand, but there's another sword there, and also for the belt buckle on his belt. There we go, that was it for all of the metal. Now we're moving on to leather brown. This is for facial hair. I do the handles of his sword as well, because in the artwork it looks like it's wrapped in some sort of leather, so I'll just go over it with that. And some of the straps on the sheaths I changed to this color as well, just to make them stand out a little bit more. There we go, that was it for all the leather brown. Now we're on to our first highlight of the model, which is ash grey for all of the bits we did uniform grey. This is just to sort of accentuate the folds in the cloth that he's wearing. There we go, that is it for the first set of highlights. Now we're moving on to Mars Red to highlight the random scarf that he's got hanging down, which does not take long because it's only a small piece. Now on to the first of the washes, as there's a few in this model now. We're doing green tone for all of the bits that were Hydra turquoise, just to give it that sort of greeny tinge that the artwork's got. And that will be first wash done. Now we're on to dark tone this is for all of the grey areas and the metallics. Also get done with this colour, as metallics and dark tone just go well together, so you might as well actually use them together. Although if you want a more rusty sort of look, I would use probably soft tone or maybe even a strong tone if you want to get real rusty and like grimy. Because dark tone has a more oily look, whereas the soft tone will give it that rust look. And there we go for dark tone. Now we're on to strong tone, and this is for what is left of the mini apart from the skin. As you see, I'm sort of, with the boots I don't take my time so much, but with the shoulder pads I do take a while just to make sure there's no pulls anywhere, as I just want it to sit just in the recess, as it's quite a well detailed and sort of, it's got the depth already there in the mini, so there's might as well accentuate it instead of covering it. But now strong tone is done, we move on to flesh wash, and this is obviously just for the flesh. There we go, that is wash done and dry, and now we're moving on to the last highlight of this mini, and it is just bringing up some of the edges on the clothing, and it's only the Hydro Turquoise that I do this for, as the rest of it just sort of works already. Now obviously when you're putting this on, the Hydro Turquoise looks very different to the actual Hydro Turquoise with the green wash, but once it dries it goes a bit more transparent and just blends that a little bit more, but still highlights the mini up a little bit, because you don't really want too strong of a contrast, you just want a nice subtle gradient almost. But that was it, that is highlights done, and then finish up with the black base as we always do. And now the base is finished up, that is it for this mini, and that will be it for the video. It's been quite a nice mini to paint, and I'm hoping I can get some more of this sort of style, and well, I'll enjoy painting them. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.